Kamran Jafari, a political prisoner in the Urumia prison, is under a lot of pressure by the security officials to make an appearance on national television in an interview. Mr. Jafari has warned the officials that he will start a hunger strike if these pressures continue. Muhammad Abdullahi, a prisoner sentenced to death in the central prison of Urumia, has been on a hunger strike since the 29th of May 2016 in protest against his unjust sentencing. Mr. Abdullahi has been kept in a solitary confinement for the past 13 days and his physical health is deteriorating. Ehsan Mazandarani, an imprisoned journalist, wrote in a letter that after more than 1 month of being on a hunger strike, he is starting to face difficulties with his hearing and speech. Mr. Mazandarani added that he has developed various conditions such as infections of the trachea, lungs and intestines, and is not certain that he will survive before justice is served. Chief Justice of Kerman said that due to the fact that Nazanin Zagheri has spent time outside of the country, it has been decided that her case will be taken to a court in Tehran, as this investigation is not within the competence of the judiciary of the Kerman province. A number of social welfare specialists who had gathered reports from people about 2 young girls who were tortured and were prevented from continuing their studies began an investigation into how its social implications can be prevented. The father of the 2 young girls believed that girls should not be allowed to go to school and that they must eat bread as their only source of food. Since the 19th of June 2016 to date, a number of workers of the Dashtestan Cement Company have been forming gatherings at their workplace in order to protest against a change in the management of their plant, as well as a reduction of their wages. The Chief Justice of the Ardabil province announced that the death sentence of a person charged with the murder of a doctor from Ardabil was confirmed by the Supreme Court. He added that this sentence will be carried out after the month of Ramadan. Hossein Gholami Azar, a cleric in the Rajai Shah prison, has been kept in Branch 8 in the solitary confinement of this prison for the past month. Police Chief of the Hamadan province announced that 37 individuals were arrested and handed over to the judicial authorities due to not fasting in the month of Ramadan. This action of forcing citizens to follow Islamic laws was carried out by clearly interfering in their personal affairs and violating their freedom of thought and religion. Azita Rafi'izadeh, a Baha'i citizen who was arrested due to teaching at the Azad Science Institute, which is known as the most important opportunity to pursue higher education, is serving her 4 years of imprisonment sentence along with her husband in prison. The child of this couple are inevitably living with other families in the absence of parents. 3 Sunni prisoners from the Rajai Shah prison were sentenced to 7 days imprisonment in the solitary confinement by Judge Nazer due to protesting against the offensive speech of this judge. Reportedly, the Qanun newspaper was suspended by the order of the prosecutor. On Monday the 20th of June 2016, the Revolutionary Court of Tehran informed about the arrest of 17 citizens on charges of conducting immoral activities on cyberspace. Akbar Amini Armaki, a political prisoner from branch 350 of the Evin prison, reached the end of his leave period and returned back to the prison. Navid Khanjani, a human rights activist, currently in the Rajai Shah prison of Karaj, has been suffering from severe weight loss, pain in his legs, as well as hair loss across his body. Mr. Khanjani has been hospitalized for bowel biopsy. However, the hospital has not provided any clear information regarding his condition. Omid Shahmoradi is still in the Sanandaj prison 2 months after a call for his emergency hospitalization. Mr. Shahmoradi was charged with spying. Despite having a large beach, 4,000 villages in the Sistan and Baluchistan province do not have access to drinking water, and residents are in a critical situation.